To bring in Rachel Lazar now. She is president of the Americans United for Separation of Church and State. She opposes this decision. Thank you for being with us this morning. I want to read what Superintendent Ryan Walters says about this latest decision. He said it reflects months of hard work. More importantly, the will of the people of Oklahoma. He said he's encouraged the board approve this monumental decision. Now the U.S.'s first religious charter school will be welcomed by my administration. Rachel, is this the will of the people?
I don't think so. Not according to the Oklahoma State Constitution, it's not. And in a country that's premised on the separation of church and state, no public school should be allowed to become a religious school. That's a violation of taxpayers' religious freedom and a violation of all of our right to know that our kids will not be sent to public school and taught a religion that is not their own.
What would you say, Rachel, to people who argue that parents can decide whether or not they want to send their kid to a charter school that involves religion?
Well, I would say two things. Number one, I would say it's sinful and tyrannical, according to Thomas Jefferson, who wrote the Virginia Statute for Religious Freedom, which is really the precursor for the First Amendment, to force any taxpayers or parents to fund religion that's not their own. That's the first thing I'd say. Second thing that I'd say is they can send their kids to a Catholic school or any religious school. They just can't do it on the taxpayer's dime, because public schools have to be open to all. And the Oklahoma State Constitution is very clear, and it promises that.
What are some of your other more broad concerns of unintended consequences if this is to move forward?
This is a sea change for the American democracy. It is the first time that we're seeing a public school turned into a Sunday school, right? St. Isidore's didn't hide the fact that it planned to evangelize, that it's running itself as a Catholic school, that it's reserving the right to discriminate in who it admits to the school, who it hires for the school, and what it teaches. This is a very dangerous precedent and frankly could open the doors across the country to more public schools becoming Sunday schools. That is not American, and it's not constitutional.
And this is not the end of it. I know you and your team are preparing legal action. Tell me more about your case.
Oh, yes. We plan to go to court to protect the religious freedom of all Oklahomans. So we will join with people on the ground in Oklahoma and other national groups, and we will be taking this to court.
How long did this take to come to fruition? What were the red flags that you saw that led to the vote this week?
Well, I think there were actually some shenanigans in the 11th hour, because it took 3 votes in order to approve this application. And in the 11th hour, we saw the virtual charter school board substitute one member for another really before its time, before that person was supposed to come in. So number one, there seemed to be some shenanigans. We also saw this evolution of the attorney general switch, and the new attorney general disapprove. And you may have seen that the attorney general, again, someone who represents Oklahomans, remarking that this is a violation of the oath of these folks and that this is unconstitutional. So this has been quite an evolution over time. Also want to note one more thing. It's been really heartening to see so many clergy testify in support of all Oklahomans' religious freedom and against St. Isidore's application. A member of Americans United for Separation of Church and State's Faith Advisory Council, Reverend Lori Walke, testified against this application, as did the president of Pastors for Oklahoma Kids. So there's a lot of religious leaders who want to protect the religious freedom of all Oklahomans and put an end to this very dangerous approval.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.